Welcome to all. Today in my session, I would like to discuss about body language. Actually, what is body language? Body language is a non-verbal communication. Here, this body language refers to all the expressions that we share by means of our body movements, not through words. So here, what is body language? Body language, it comes under non-verbal communication. So body language comes under non-verbal communication. So here it refers to share. We share by means of our body movements, not with written words, not with words. Okay, we express everything with our body movements. So the vocabulary of body language is universally common, as it is interpreted and understood with the help of universally accepted body signs and symbols. Okay, signs and symbols. These are universally accepted things. So, what are the elements of this body language? Let me write it down. What are they? Eye contact, facial expressions, our clothing, gestures, posture, and distance. So, what are they? What are the elements in body language? First one is eye contact. Eye contact. First let me write it out the elements. Facial expressions, clothing, our way of clothing, fourth element, gesture, fifth, posture, sixth, distance, okay. So, these are elements in body language. What are they? Eye contact, facial expression, clothing, gesture, posture, distance. So, now we understood what is a body language. It comes under non-verbal communication. So let me go through this eye contact. Yes, before going into eye contact, let me give small information about this body language, definition of this body language. Actually, this body language is more trustable than any number of spoken words or written words. So this, what is that? This body language is really, it's a trustworthy when compared to spoken words or written words. Okay, now let me move on to eye contact. So what is eye contact? Since our eyes are the mirrors of our inner feelings. Yes, it's correct. While listening to someone or speaking to someone clearly tells the attitude of person speaking or listening to. Good or positive eye contact improves the effectiveness of a verbal message during oral interaction. Okay? Yes, while we talk to anyone or speak to anyone, compulsory it's compulsory to have a eye contact with that person. So actually these eye contact improves the effectiveness of verbal message during oral interaction. Eyes says a lot. So so here now let me give some suggestion that help one to maintain positive eye contact with your listeners. Okay, what are those suggestions? Use eye contact to show sincerity and confidence. So for effective communication, eye contact should be very show. These eye contact shows sincerity and confidence. So while speaking, don't look at one's feet. Just talk to them straightforwardly. Next, learn the cultural patterns of eye contact so that one can understand the difference in eye contact in different cultures. So, based on the cultures, even that is going to vary. By this, one can avoid misunderstanding. So, one should learn cultural patterns of eye contact. Okay? Now, in seminars, when you go to seminars or in group discussion, in meetings or oral presentation, there the speaker should look at all the listeners. Yes, correct. While he is delivering speech, compulsory he should look at all listeners. It's very important. He has to give importance to all. During that time, do not look at one person continuously. It's going to be embarrassment. It's like it may bring embarrassment to the speaker. So, eye contact is very important. So, look at here in your group discussion or oral presentation or in seminar, compulsory eye contact should look at all the listeners. So, what is that? In eye contact, what is the important point at that during group discussion or oral presentation or seminar? One should one should what is that? The speaker should look at all listeners, all the listeners. Yes, he should give importance to each and everyone. So this eye contact is one of the elements of this body language. Now let me go through facial expression. Okay, actually, what is facial expression? It's actually positive and appropriate facial expression adds meaning and helps to improve the effectiveness of our communication, our verbal communication. Okay, facial expression is one of the elements of body language. Here, while speaking, people say that face is index of our mind. Yes, okay. Is it clear? Our eyes in eye contact while speaking, eye contact that their eyes are the mirrors of our inner feelings. Eyes are saying about our inner feelings, whereas our face, it's express our mind. It is the index of our mind. So have a positive facial expression while speaking to someone. So it improves our communication. It improves our effectiveness of our verbal message. So our face easily reveals our emotion. So actually, what are facial expressions? We use our eyes. Just now, in facial expression, eye contact. So actually, eye contact is one of the part of the facial expressions. Facial expression is an element of body language. Yes, but facial expression is going to come under eye contact. So here, okay. So even eye contact is one of the facial expressions. Okay. Facial expressions uses eyes, eyebrows, forehead, and mouth. These are supposed to enhance the appearance of a speaker. Positive facial expression should match with the content of the speech. Even our speech should be matched with our facial expression. Okay? One's facial expression should be natural. So it should not be acting. It should be very natural. While speaking, our face, because the face is index of our mind, one should not act. So if when one speaks to us, or when we speak to other something, when during our conversation, so our facial expressions should be natural. So the speaker's facial expression and the content of the speech should match. Okay. And even let me go with clothing. Even our dressing should be very clean and very formal. This is very, very important during our interview time at our job place. Very important. Next, coming to gesture. So clothing should be very clean, well, should be dressed properly. It's very important. This show our attitude. This clothing shows our attitude. Next, coming to gesture. Use of hands, that is handshake. Hands or arms to support what you are saying can aid others in understanding your point. Nodding or smiling are two positive means by which you can non-verbally indicate you are listening to someone. Okay, gestures. In that, handshake is one of the type of gestures. Okay, one has to use hands or arms, or some, or just nodding or smiling. These expression, these gestures, they say, yes, this person is listening to me. So if you talk to someone, that person should say, that person gestures says us that, yes, this guy is listening to my words. Okay. So let me go through handshake. This handshake is one of the part of gestures. It's common body language. It is very powerful body language that improves our communication with other people. A warm handshake has a light grip that maximizes the surface of palm and finger contact with the other person. Okay, so during handshake, the grip that maximizes the surface of a palm and finger contact with the other person. So if we give handshake to our belongings, that is our loved persons, it is going to be very prolonged, and usually it is going to be accompanied with long eye contact. Okay, if a short duration handshake is used, so we use short duration handshake with strangers. Actually, this handshake, whatever here gestures, right now I discussed with gesture. In this, handshake is one of the type of gesture. This handshake, it's a signal. It is one of the important signals in the body language, in the element of body language. A tight gripped and short duration or jerky handshake signals that they do not trust each other. So while speaking, handshake. So when we give hand to some stranger or someone, so if in that, if that shake, if there is a jerky handshake, if that signal is jerky handshake or short duration or tight gripped, that that they do not trust. So that signal shows that they do not trust each other. Okay. Next, go with formal handshake. Formal handshake is common in professional settings. Yes. When the colleagues from the same company or profession meet, they are going to have a handshaking. During that profession handshake, that handshake indicates trusting and professional relationship. Okay, let me go through this handshake. Actually, it is one of the parts of gestures. So, handshaking. So, what is that? It is most important body language. It's a signal which indicates that whether we trust other person or not. So, handshake may be tight gripped or a short duration, or it may be prolonged duration or jerky movements during handshake, during giving hand to someone. Next, formal handshake. That is, formal handshake is called professional handshake. So a short duration. So we use this during talking to strangers. Next, a tight gripped jerky handshake. These signals shows that they do not trust each other. Okay, a tight gripped or jerky handshake. Next, formal handshake. It's common in professional meeting. Okay, here it shows trusting. Okay, now let me go through postures. So next, what is the next element in body language? Posture. Okay, now go through this posture. The way you sit and the way you stand tells a powerful story. If you wish to convey confidence, do not bend. Stand up straight, as this gives an impression, positive impression of strength, authority, and energy. Okay, leaning forward during a conversation, either while standing or sitting, conveys your interest and enthusiasm to the other persons. Okay, sitting and standing positions. So it should be very erect. It's important, straight during formal meetings. Next, leaning back shows a relaxed, informal attitude. So here such type of postures we use in our family with when we speak with in our family with our family relatives or with our parents. So generally we sit relaxed. Okay. Next, bending in our chair while speaking shows that lack of energy. So while in formal situation, due at our job place, we should sit, stand, or stand erect or straight. Okay. Whereas in our relations, okay, anyway you can sit, no problem. Because ours is informal speech with your parents, with your friends, or with your relatives, etc., with your beloved ones. Sit or stand in your wish, in your way. It's not compulsory to be erect or to be stand or sit straightly. whereas in profession places, to be stand erect. Okay, so this posture shows this is one of the elements of body language. Coming to distance, stand too close to someone and you're likely to make them uncomfortable. So, stand. Okay, while you're speaking, you stand. But don't be too close because it is going to be somewhat uncomfortable to those person who are speaking to you. Okay, just stand, but not too much close, not too much far. It should be in some minimum distance so that the speaker is or a listener, the speaker and listener, though they should also there should be develop some trust during communication. So at appropriate distance, communicating with someone is very good. Okay, now all of you understood what is body language. It's a it's actually non-verbal communication. So these are the elements of this body language. And here facial expression is one of the part of this eye contact itself. So actually this sub part of this eye contact. So next, clothing. In gestures, handshaking is one of the most important part of this gesture. So I discussed with this handshake in this gesture. Now distance. So one should be at appropriate distance when speaking to someone. Now let me discuss with our body language, how we have to maintain our body language during a job interview. Okay, okay. You know, job. What's the meaning of job interview? So, what are the gestures you're going to have during this interview? So, how you're going? Now, I'm going to discuss about what are the desirable body language of a candidate during a job interview. So, let me talk about that. Look politely at the interviewer or at interview panel. Okay, look politely at the interviewer. Sit only when signaled by the interviewer to do so. So when he signals to sit, then only you are going to sit. Okay. Arms should be kept resting on the legs. Next, sit with straight posture. Keep direct eye contact with interviewer while asking question. This eye contact indicates that the correct eye contact indicates that you are you are showing this is a positive, it shows a positive attitude towards you, so that here the person, the interviewer is going to get good opinion on you, going to develop a good opinion on you. Answer questions with conviction through eye contact with the entire panel of interviewers. So these are the steps one has to follow during going to your job interview. So it's one of the part of your body language gesture. So here I explain the way how you have to develop a positive attitude, how to improve your gesture during job interviews. So this is your body language session class. In this class we had gone through this body language.